Hello, everyone. I'm Dalton Burdett,
I'm Nick Ericchio.
and we are the Movie Nights.
Well, some of them.
If you're watching this because you want to hear our uncensored
Unfiltered.
thoughts and opinions about the world of movies and entertainment news, so kick back
Relax.
and thank you for being part of the conversation. Nick, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing all right, buddy. We're streaming on a Thursday again.
Streaming on a Thursday again. Sorry, guys. I know on the last one I said we'd be back on the regular Friday time. However, I realized I have everything under the moon scheduled this weekend, including all of Friday. I'm going to go feed some goats in the afternoon.
Ooh.
Then I have a flight at night, and I'll be out all weekend. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. So Thursday it is. And we have a hell of a show for you guys today, as you see from the thumbnail. We're going to get into Matt Smith being cast as the new Star Wars villain and what that could potentially mean. We have Spider-Man images. We have Quiet Place news. We have all kinds of stuff to talk about. But before that, it's important to talk about some things off the top here. And that, number one, is... do you like having your information protected online? Do you like to watch streaming services in other countries where you can get their content that you can't get in your current country? Well, then sign up for NordVPN using our affiliate link. We're happy to partner with them. It's in the description below, or you can go to nordvpn.com/movie nights. I use it every single day. It's so worth it. Please do so. You will love it. Also, our short film Quiver is officially out on Apple TV and Google TV. Please go purchase it. It's only $3. That's like $1 per 10 minutes. And I can now confirm, as of today, that Nick's name has been corrected on Apple TV. So there you go.
No more
go,
Nick
buddy.
Laricchio.
No more Nick Laricchio. That's amazing. And, you know, it is what it is. Happy that film's out. Like I said, we have an amazing show for you guys today, which we're going to dive into right now. First, Hannah is very excited about the goats. I am also excited. It's going to be fun. Anyway, diving in with some breaking news. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. If we can get, I don't know if that's even legal because we already have the fish and you're doing the voice. I don't know. It feels like a lawsuit waiting to happen. But we did have some breaking news pop up today, and that involves the Highlander reboot starring Henry Cavill and the one being directed by Chad Stahelski of John Wick fame. It has now found its lead villain, and the new lead villain of that film is going to be Dave Bautista. I have him next here to the original villain, Kurgan, from the original Highlander, played by an incredibly young Clancy Brown. It's almost off-putting to see. But Dave Bautista's been cast in the role, and he's an actor that's been really trying to make a name for himself ever since Guardians of the Galaxy over 10 years ago. Think about that. Guardians of the Galaxy came out 11 years ago, Nicholas. But it's just one of those things that we've been seeing. You know, growing up a big WWE fan, I'm obviously very familiar with him and his work. This just got broken by the trades earlier today. I'm happy about this. I'm excited about this. I'm excited to see him and Henry Cavill work together. It's not it's not a dynamic I thought I would be willing to see, but it sounds very interesting. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I always have enjoyed Dave Bautista as an actor personally, especially kind of just coming out of the that WWE group with like The Rock and John Cena. I'm not afraid to say I think Dave Bautista might be the best actor of the bunch.
Oh, for sure.
John Cena has given some good performances, but Dave Bautista, I just always think comes in and crushes it comedically, dramatically, like in Blade Runner 2049. And I'm very excited to see him going up in Highlander with Henry Cavill. I mean, what's not to love? I'd love to see him. I like the idea of him playing a villain, especially because a lot of the roles we've seen him in, he's been kind of the big, goofy, you know, like the Drax type character, a little bit more comedic. And his drama roles have been a lot more like kind of softer, not as menacing. So I'm excited to see him kind of just having a big sword and going to town. And I did not even realize when I was uploading that image that is in fact Clancy Brown.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
I am interested to see him and Henry Cavill's chemistry together. It's not a pairing that I can like. My mind can't put those two together and like tell me what a scene would look like. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. If this somehow in some way ends up with Henry Cavill ending up on WWE, I'd be a big fan of that. But anyway, guys, what do you think about Dave Bautista being cast as the villain in Highlander? I don't think it's been confirmed if he's playing Kurgan, if it's going to be like the same villain. We just know that it's going to be the main antagonist of the film. Let us know what you think in the comments as we move on to our next thing we're going to talk about, and we have some trailer thoughts. And the trailer we're going to talk about today is for a movie called Shelby Oaks. And you might be thinking, what the hell is Shelby Oaks? Well, it is the feature directorial debut of Chris Stuckman. Yes, the same Chris Stuckman who was a famous movie YouTube critic, one of the OG movie YouTube critics. One of the critics on YouTube where people started taking YouTube critics seriously. I would argue without people like Chris Stuckman, and you can go back to even Jeremy Johns and the original AMC Movie Talk people, without those people, you probably wouldn't have YouTube critics being allowed to be on Rotten Tomatoes today. Without them. He was very prevalent in that period of time. He still does reviews for movies that he enjoys only, which people give him shit for. I think it's fine. There's nothing wrong with being positive. You could say it's punk rock. But his directorial debut is upon us, Shelby Oaks, and the trailer for this movie is so fucking good, Nicholas. It got picked up by Neon, which we'd reported on the show when it happened. Which, look, I've never met this man. Okay, let me just say that. I've never met this man, and I could not be more proud of him. Just as someone who's watched him for many, many years and been like, I used to like binge his movie reviews. He used to do these things called Hilariosities, and they were amazing. And of course, he always talked about wanting to be a filmmaker, and I'm going to show some clips here without sound because we don't want to get copyrighted. The movie looks so good. It looks incredibly creepy. I can't wait to see this movie. There he is, Chris Stuckman. I hope it does well. Mike Flanagan came on to help be an executive producer on it. What are your thoughts on the trailer, and do you think the film's going to be good?
I did. It was very eerie, which got me excited. You know, there were a lot of reports too when it got kind of the second round of funding after Neon had picked it up and they were doing some reshoots to make it more gory. And what intrigued me most about it is the trailer. I didn't get gory vibes from it, which is what made me more excited about it. Like there's some blood and everything in it, but I'm not thinking like, well, how do you ramp up the gore? But I thought the trailer is very well made. Or sorry, I should say very well put together. It gave you kind of just teases of where the storylines are going. You know, it was a very effective trailer in doing what a trailer should be, in that here's kind of the vibe without getting too into the details of it. So I enjoyed it.
And something else that I want to talk about with the movie as well is that it was entirely, at least before Neon came in, after the original cut of the film was made and screened at a festival, the entire film was funded through crowdfunding. I believe it ended up raising like $2 million or something like that. And Deadline was the only trade that would report on it. I remember that. But a huge, successful crowdfunding campaign. And, you know, the movie's made for probably less than $5 million, even with Neon's help. So I hope it's a smashing success. That would be really, really fun to see. They have a lot of talent in it
as well.
Yes, they do.
The lead actress, she's been in Shoresy. She's been in like every episode of that show. It's a very successful Letterkenny spinoff. And I know that when it actually surpassed the Kickstarter goal that it had set, they were able to actually bring on Keith David in a role, which they said they could not afford without that initial boost. So that was very cool to see. I love Keith David, so I'm very excited. I don't even think he's in the trailer.
I can't remember if he is. I've only seen the trailer once. But
Keith David close to the chest, and you should.
As you should. Hannah puts in the live chat, why wouldn't the trades report on it being crowdfunded? Great question. We didn't know either. I just remember that Deadline was the only one. You know what it felt like, and I'm not going to say this is the only reason, but it felt like the stink of, this YouTuber's making a movie. And so it wasn't a story, but Deadline with Chris Stuckman, like not with Chris Stuckman, but they would actually like comment and be like, hey, prominent YouTuber Chris Stuckman just raised $2 million to make this movie. And I remember him making a video about it, and he even said, by the way, thank you to Deadline for like actually picking up the story, because like nobody else would, which I thought was very odd. And like, here's the thing. I'm loving the whole YouTubers becoming filmmakers thing with Raka Raka, the Filippo brothers with Talk to Me and Bring Her Back, which are both excellent, by the way. And with this, give me more. Give me more. I want to see a Filthy Frank horror movie next. Let's make it happen. But, guys, that got you.
I knew you were going to give an example. I just didn't know who you were going to pull from.
Yeah, for some that was just the first one. Joji, come on, stop doing music.
Well, he went to go have a very prolific music career.
Yes, he's very good. Guys, what did you think of the Shelby Oaks trailer? Let us know in the comments as we move on to our next if you can call this a trailer. We have a suit reveal for you all. And this kind of also goes into the next thing where we do our first looks here. Nick, this may come as a shock to you, but they're making a 4th Spider-Man movie.
Whoa.
I know.
And who's going to be Spider-Man?
Tom Holland, if you can believe it. And
From Cherry?
Yes, excellent pull. And the thing about it is he had a suit at the end of No Way Home, the third Spider-Man film in his trilogy, that everyone loved. When they saw the movie, they were like, please keep that suit. Please keep that suit. Not only did they keep the suit, everybody, they made some slight improvements, including some raised webbing, which you can see from the first look right here. Let's mute that. Don't want to get copyrighted. They released this little video as they started filming, showing Tom Holland kind of prepping and getting ready to film as he walks right into the light, right on his cue, with the new suit. And it looks so goddamn phenomenal. I love the suit. It's amazing. I'm now going to pull up some photos of it in action while filming. It looks amazing. Here we go here. Some first look images. And what I love about these images, Nick, is that it's clear to at least me that they have hired like photographers to take these set photos because one, no amateurs framing it like this. All right, I'm sorry. But two, it gets them ahead of set leaks. It gets them ahead of random videos and random like pictures coming online and not looking as good. They're like, look, we're going to film in the streets. We know it's going to happen. Let's hire some people. Let's get it out there. Let's make it look good. Here's another good view of Tom Holland in action. And then you have the picture of the tank that some scoopers are claiming that the Punisher is in. Some people are saying that it's going to be Mr. Negatives. We don't know that for sure. And then you have the picture of pictures. Look at this goddamn photo. This picture looks so good. And I don't know if you saw, Nick. I believe I sent it to you on Twitter. Boss Logic made a screensaver version for your phone of that, where he just eliminates the film equipment and may or may not have to do it. Because for the past, I want to say 2 years or a year and a half, I've had the image of Krypto and Superman on the moon. Back when James Gunn first tweeted it out however long ago. Mm-hmm. That's been my thing. Might have to update it to Spidey. That picture looks
that's just
amazing.
All these set photos were just Spider-Man aura farming, and I'm here for it, But good God, that one set photo, people pulled from No Way Home, the scene of him in front of the big screen. They're like, this is the coolest Spider-Man shot. I think this one's cooler, and this is some dipshit with an iPhone that's stuck onto a set.
or it's someone they hired. I'm not going to let that go.
Or it's an industry plant, one or the other. But that, just the crowd watching it, him standing on top of the car. It's a great. I love Spider-Man.
And dude, look at this. Look at this with the fucking explosion. It looks awesome. Kevin Davis in the live chat says, let's pull it up here. Oh, hold on. Let me go back to my wide and pull up this thing from Kevin Davis. I'm trying, Kevin Davis. Why isn't it working? There we go. Hope Sony Pictures can make a comeback theatrical. Sony Pictures tends to be hit or miss. They're not having the best year right now. I believe they had... what was the new David F. Sandberg movie? Until Dawn. I can't remember how it did financially, but I don't think it did as well as they wanted it to. I think that was Sony. I'd have to double check. But, they tend to be hit or miss. Hannah says, F4, Superman, and now Spider-Man suit superhero movies are back. If you ask me, they barely went anywhere, okay?
They barely. Saw how all the set photo leaks of every Superman outfit came out, and they were like, we got to get ahead of this.
They were like, we need to do something.
We can't let them see this without quality film equipment and cameras.
Morgan Bernard says, loving all the Spider-Man photos. Thank you, Morgan.
I think what was the funniest part of all this, though, was actually even going back to the teaser trailer or the suit reveal. Someone was joking. They're like, so he's hyping himself up like he's going to go outside, and then the doors open for him to turn around and run the other way.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, that is an accurate criticism. But actually just going through the photos too. You get Dustin Daniel Cretton on and him with the tank. What a great first day photo. I think that one came from Tom Holland's Instagram, if I'm not mistaken, is where I pulled that one from. And I'm loving all the that he's on a tank. I'm loving the practical swinging.
Yes.
Is the coolest part. And I saw a lot of people ripping John Watts, saying his advice to the next person was don't try to do the swinging practical, it doesn't work. And we'll see how it looks in the movie. But just from the set photos, I'm just like, Spider-Man is real.
It looked fun. Yeah.
He is here. And that stunt actor is having the best day of his life.
Oh, dude.
He is arguably more of Spider-Man than any of the other ones.
Yes, correct.
And just the explosion going on with it, I'm very excited to see. And I think that it's probably smart too to have all this, because I would not be shocked if a lot of the first trailer or teaser is just revolving around this scene, since we've already seen it.
Yeah.
Unless it's a big integral story point, I would be shocked if it's not just an extended look at that sequence and kind of revealing, especially if Punisher is driving the tank, like just show the little snippets and then have Spider-Man rip it open and yank Frank out.
Yep. Listen, I love everything I'm seeing with it. Going back to what you said about it being practical, I bet Tom Holland's happy as hell, because making No Way Home on every green screen imaginable as an actor just has to be difficult or aggravating. Mm-hmm. And just like seeing him, like, he's having fun. Like, even like he's out there with the mask off, he's talking to kids, he's looking at people, like he's having a good time, which is nice. I'm going to pull up Kevin Davis also adds, Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four will do well once they hit Disney+. I think so too. MCU will bounce back with Avengers Doomsday at the box office. I think MCU is going to bounce back with Spider-Man, because right now it comes out before. And technically that is a Sony film, yes, but obviously Marvel is going to be using that as free advertising for their Avengers films, which as of right now, Spider-Man is not confirmed to be in, but I have a feeling he might show up towards the end. I think
even regardless, it's going to give him a lot of momentum going into it. It's kind of the same way like placing Ant-Man after an Avengers movie, because people are still going off the hype. They're just like, what's the next Marvel thing? Give it to me.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to give him a big boost going into Doomsday.
I agree. And I also think that Fantastic Four is going to do well theatrically. It's not going to be like this massive billion-dollar movie, but it is going to do very well. We're going to get into box office with that a little bit later, with where some struggles have happened with it, but overall I think it'll do fine. And I agree that once Thunderbolts is on Disney Plus and Fantastic Four is on Disney Plus, you have a year and a half before Avengers Doomsday, and when Spider-Man comes out, people will be able to go and be ready, because I think the only thing you really need to watch for Avengers Doomsday, and you don't even need to, I'm sure they're going to make it so you don't need to, you could ignore pretty much all of Phase 4. I think you just need Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man. Like, maybe Captain America 4, but like, that's, I think it'll be fine. But I echo a lot of your sentiments, Kevin. So, there is something else Marvel-related that's filming, Nicholas, as we've talked about for the past, 5 episodes, because I keep bringing it up. And that is the Punisher special presentation, which actually wrapped filming today. John Bernthal did a very nice wrap speech. But while they were filming it, we got a little sneak peek at what the Punisher's new costume is going to be. Ready for this shit?
Final form.
Oh, it looks so good. It looks so good. I love when that bitch is just spray painted on. And that taper fade, he's killing some people with that thing. Oh, it looks very, very good. It looks very, very
artistic. Good. He always gets the skull really well done.
Yes.
Frank Castle has an artistry to him.
I can't wait. I want to see it in context with the special and how it's going to be used in the future. Right now, I'm married to his current look. I think this look is very good, but we'll see how it's used. But I don't hate it. I think it looks great.
Do you think this is what he's gonna? Because the Punisher special leads into Daredevil season 2,
from what we understand, yeah.
Which then allegedly leads into Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think he gets this look by the end? Like, do you think this is the Frank Castle Punisher we're going to be seeing in Brand New Day?
Maybe. Yeah. Although, if it were me, and this is what a lot of studio execs have done, if it were me, he would wear, maybe the first time you see him, he's got it on, but then he gets another outfit, because then you can sell another toy, Nicholas, if he's in a new outfit.
They're going to put him in the black spandex with the white gloves and boots. I know it.
I don't think they'll do that, but if they did, would part of me be like, okay, fuck yeah, yes.
I could never see them doing with it, but I would love to.
If they do it, Bernthal still has to act exactly the same, if not harder. Like, he needs to do...
Just not addressing...
He needs to do the Bernthal scream with spandex and white gloves, and then it's okay. And then they did it. Before we move on, I want to bring up Kevin Davis's thing. I think he's a literal psychic, Nicholas. He adds, do you think the Mandalorian movie will make $1 billion? Kevin Davis, no shit. later in the show, in this PowerPoint, we usually pick topics for each other where we debate, and one of those topics is how well we think the Mandalorian movie is going to do. So if you stick around to the end, you will see our answer on that. That's so funny. Let's move into this week's top stories. I don't know why I did that. I feel like we need like a music cue for this. Anyway, something that may surprise some of you guys, not a lot of you if you've been around since the beginning. My favorite movie of 2018 was A Quiet Place. And you can get mad at me. I saw a lot of movies that year. Yes, I think it's better than Infinity War. I think it's better than Spider-Verse. I think it's better than Green Book, which won Best Picture that year. I love The First Quiet Place. I think it's
better than the cocaine you're smoking.
I think it's better than every movie that came out that year that I saw. And it's going to be one of those movies that's always overlooked because it's part of a bigger franchise now, and it has John Krasinski's name tied to it. I hope people go back to that movie and they're like, God damn, that movie is good. That First Quiet Place is so fucking good. It was made by this guy, John Krasinski, Jim from The Office. Well, he did make a sequel in Quiet Place Part 2. They did a spin-off movie called A Quiet Place Day 1, which was directed by the director of Pig. I liked A Quiet Place Day 1, by the way. Not a lot of people talked about it. But according to Deadline, it is official. A Quiet Place Part 3 is happening, and John Krasinski will return to direct, write, and produce. It releases in theaters on July 9th, 2027. No cast is confirmed at this time. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Emily Blunt come back, if we see the kids come back, if we see even Cillian Murphy and Digimon Hanzo come back. That would be really exciting. Again, we don't know, like the Deadline article says. This is very early, but they did announce that it is officially happening. He's coming back to direct. And the Deadline article goes on to say that this will conclude the story of like this family in this world, which I think is nice. I think the Day 1 spinoff was great. I think you can make other spinoffs and other stories in this world that are very cool. But it is nice just to get like a one full story with this family. I wonder how deep they're going to go in regarding like if it's going to be the end of these creatures. Like, does the story of this family end with the story of these creatures, or does it end with just learning how to live in this world again? I have a lot of questions that I want to see answered. Like I said, I love the first movie. I really liked the second movie. I thought Day 1 was pretty good as well. What are your thoughts on John Krasinski coming back to direct this? And do you have the same questions as me, or do you not care?
No, I do. I wouldn't say it was my favorite movie that year, but I think it was definitely in my top 10. It was something I really enjoyed. I was not expecting John Krasinski to be as prolific of a director as he turned out to be. Like, I thought that was a very, very strong directorial debut from him, and I was very impressed by it. I found the story really engaging. Part 2 kind of dipped a little bit for me. Not out of any like not that it ruins the movie or that I'm angry about it, or like, you know, I thought the first one was better in most regards for me. I think the story just worked a lot better. I didn't really buy into a lot of some of the expansion that they did with the world building, while some of it was interesting. And I really, really liked Day 1, actually. That might be my second favorite of the bunch. I really love the director who directed Pig. I thought he did a great job with this. I thought that Lupita Nyong'o gave a great performance. I thought Joseph Quinn gave an excellent performance. And it was just one that it worked for me more. So I am excited about the idea of John Krasinski coming back into the world. I'm excited that he's going to be in the director's chair. And I'm curious to see where they go with it. I think it's going to kind of go into the route of like, they find like their safe haven, you know, until that haven is safe no more. But
you beat me by 2 seconds.
I think that's where it ends. And I wouldn't even be shocked if like Emily Blunt's character ends up passing away. It's like more about the kids going on, just kind of setting that up for later. Because then, you know, that's something that opens you up to the possibility of like, oh, we're going to set it 20, 30 years in the future. And now they're 40. And we're going to see what's going on in this world 40 years later. But I'm excited for it. I am also interested to see, well, what did he directed If, right?
Yeah.
I'm excited that he's going back to Quiet Place. and that is what we will say about that.
Listen, here's all I'm going to add to that. I don't hate If as much as a lot of people seem to hate If. Is it a fantastic movie? No. I didn't think it was horrible. I just thought that it was undercooked, if that makes sense. But I'm also excited to see him go back. I'm hoping that this kind of gets his creative mojo back so he can go back and make another new thing. because I do think he is strong as a director overall. But guys, what do you think about John Krasinski returning to direct Quiet Place Part 3? Are you excited? What do you think about it? Let us know in the comments as we move on to our next story. And this one, quick backstory, guys. As you know, if you've been a fan for a while, we did the show once a week in studio for a long time, pre-recorded. Then we were like, we need to do it twice a week so that we can catch up on more stories. But if we're going to do it twice a week, we need to do it live so we can do less editing time because we both have full-time jobs. So we started doing it twice a week live, separately, remotely, and so we could get more stories and where they'd be more relevant. But then that became a whole thing because it became very difficult to, manage both time-wise and editing-wise with social media clips to promote the show. And then we were like, let's go back to once a week, but let's make it a very long show, which is what we've been doing, and I'm liking it. But the bad thing that happens with this is every now and then you do a whole 2.5-hour live stream. It ends. You go to bed. You wake up the next morning, and then major news drops. And you're like, son of a bitch. Every time this happens, now we got to wait a week to talk about it. So here we are. Mere hours after our episode ended last Thursday, we got the official confirmation on something that was rumored for a while. And that is that Mark Ruffalo is officially coming back as the Incredible Hulk in Spider-Man Brand New Day. This comes to us from The Hollywood Reporter. As we mentioned, him joining had been rumored for a long time. Part of the Sony Marvel deal is to have an MCU character in each film, which we've talked about before. Hulk was last seen in She-Hulk and in the post-credit scene of Shang-Chi. Dustin Daniel Cretton, who directed Shang-Chi, is directing Brand New Day. And, of course, it releases in July of next year. Those poor VFX workers is all I'm going to say. But I think this is incredible. Like we said, it has been rumored for a long time. I think he's a great addition to the MCU. I think I'm curious to see how Bruce Banner is going to play into this. I know there's rumors like he could be a teacher for Peter Parker or he could be whatever. But as we know, in this world as we know it, no one knows who Peter Parker even is. So it's going to be interesting to see him maybe remember Spider-Man but not remember Peter Parker and how that is going to affect their relationship and everyone else's relationship around them. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm excited to see him. I'm hoping, and this has been rumored already, but I'm hoping that this leads to us getting the Savage Hulk back. Smart Hulk is fine, but he's gone on for too long. I want the Savage Hulk back. I want Hulk to be a threat and fist fight Doctor Doom. Nicholas, what are your thoughts on Mark Ruffalo coming back?
I mean, I've always liked him in the role. Smart Hulk has kind of overstayed his welcome a bit, but Shang-Chi, is that after She-Hulk? So, is he back to being, because he's just Mark Ruffalo in the Shang-Chi post-credit scene.
No, She-Hulk was after Shang-Chi, because in She-Hulk, I remember She-Hulk, guys. In She-Hulk, he tells her that he got the device to be able to, control that. And then that's when they wreck the car. So I don't know if he can still do it and he's just choosing to stay in Hulk or whatever the case is going to be. But, gotcha. Yeah, at that, he did have a device where he could control it.
I was very curious to see where he would actually be showing up next. I wonder if it was going to be in Avengers. We're going to try to see beforehand. I'm very curious. I would never pair Spider-Man. I know, obviously, in the comics, they do it a lot. But within the MCU, I wouldn't have thought about dropping a Hulk into a Spider-Man movie, especially kind of with the lukewarm reception of Captain America Brave New World and the Red Hulk there. So I didn't know if Marvel was going to try to make that, swing twice on that one and miss, hopefully not both times. But we have a great looking Spider-Man and a Spider-Man suit. We have Punisher, who's rocking an awesome costume. I better see some purple pants on this guy. That's all I'm going to say. I want Hulk with purple pants raging out. And it will be interesting, like you're saying, from a story point, are we going to get Savage Hulk back? And what narratively drives that focus? And is he the threat, or is it something like a manipulation by whoever the main villain gets to be, and then they end up teaming up together? I'm very curious to see that. I want to know what the hell Punisher's going to do about all this. I guess he has a tank now, allegedly, but it kind of feels like when Batman was there in Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice, when they're fighting Doomsday, and he's just like, oh shit, and he's just grappling left and right and away. I'm very excited about it. I do like Mark Ruffalo. I do like the Hulk. I feel like he's been underutilized in the MCU, just from not knowing what to do with him. And I'm very excited to see the action with him from Dustin Daniel Cretton.
Nick, I want you to do me a favor.
Yes.
I want you to mentally go back to late summer 2015.
Okay.
10 years ago when we met.
Oh, good God.
And I want you to think about the person you met in that class, that Strategies for Success class, who was so excited about Captain America Civil War coming out, had this friendship formed talking about Marvel stuff, who told you, unprovoked, that their favorite character was the Punisher, and then Daredevil Season 2 came out the following year, where I got to see the appearance of the current Punisher. Imagine telling that person at that time, hey, in 11 years, there's going to be a Spider-Man movie where not only Spider-Man's in the MCU, which you're going to get to in a second there, but Spider-Man, the Hulk, and the Punisher are all going to be in the same movie, and they might fight each other. What do you think that person would have done? I would have had a heart attack. And don't get me wrong, I'm still that person. I'm fucking excited. But like, just when I hear that, like when I hear like the Hulk, Punisher, and Spider-Man are going to fight, and it's probably because Punisher has a tank, I'm like 8 years old. I'm like, holy fuck, I can't wait to see that.
Hulk's going to chuck that across New York.
Yeah, that's all I'm
Punisher's
thinking.
going to be in a tank in the Hudson River. Punisher's in the movie for a minute because Hulk launches his ass into orbit.
Dude, the camera goes inside the tank, and as water fills it up, you just get Bernthal going, doing the Bernthal scream.
He's gonna open up the periscope, whatever, to start aiming and targeting. And he's just gonna see the Hulk's face and be like, "Oh shit!" Oh man. Listen, yeah, it's kind of one of those things. I remember seeing like photos. There was like a Reddit thread years ago, and it always stuck with me. But it was just like, if you could go back to the first Iron Man movie releasing in theaters and walk up to like the biggest nerd you could find and just show them any picture from the current MCU and say, hey, this is where we're going, like what would it be? And the one that I remember stuck out to me was Spider-Man in the Iron Spider suit jumping out of a Doctor Strange portal and punching Thanos in the face. And I was like, yeah, that would break someone's mind. And I feel like that's what you were just posing with Hulk, Punisher, and Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Speaking of Spider-Man Brand New Day, Nicholas, there's a story in here that's just for you.
Bigger news.
Hidden in the article, talking about Mark Ruffalo coming back as the Hulk, is the return of another character to this franchise. Nick, I promise I'm going to give you your time to shine on this, but I do have to introduce the story. Guys, Michael Mando is coming back as Scorpion in Spider-Man Brand New Day. You might know Michael Mando. You might know Michael Mando from playing Nacho in all 6 seasons of Better Call Saul, which is an incredible show and better than Breaking Bad. He first portrayed Mark Gargan/Scorpion in Spider-Man Homecoming. He was last seen in a prison scene with a vulture and wants to see Spider-Man's throat sliced and his head in a dryer, per his own words. And before I throw it over to you, Nick, I'm going to take your advice and show the scene without volume, of course, to the good people in case they forgot what that scene was in Spider-Man Homecoming, where you got Vulture in prison here, and he comes across, of course, the Scorpion, who was introduced earlier in the film, played by Michael Mando. And I'm pretty sure, is this a scene where he says he wants to cut his throat and put his head in the dryer?
Yeah, it's he walks up to Vulture. It is like, I don't blame you for this. I blame Spider-Man. I got some friends on the outside, wants to slice his throat, put the head in the dryer, and says, I heard a rumor that you know who he is. And then Vulture says, if I knew who he was, he'd be dead already. And that is calling back to earlier in the movie when he kind of says to Spider-Man that he kind of owes him one for saving his life and saving his daughter, and that they're kind of cool. And that is, of course, before Vulture gets sentenced over to the Morbius universe.
I was hoping you'd bring that up.
The Sony universe, which is not going to be canon, I assume. And so Vulture is allegedly still in this prison, or he's free roaming around the Sony universe. That is all still to be determined.
Can I tell you something? I snatched the Morbius 4K when it was available, just in case they changed it. I'm going to change my battery, but go ahead.
I have thought, too, about, like, people interview Kevin Feige all the time, and he's always very secretive in his responses. He's always very vague. He's actually very well PR trained. And I think the key to getting an answer out of Kevin Feige is that you need to catch him off guard with the most random question that he's not going to be expecting. Hence, if I saw Kevin Feige on a red carpet for whatever movie we're promoting, I would just off the cuff go, "Hey, so is Vulture still in the Sony universe?" Because he's not going to be prepared for that, and I'll probably get an answer. But regardless, I am very excited about Michael Mando showing up in Spider-Man Brand New Day as Scorpion, and I'm going to tell you why, because now my hyperfixation on Scorpion is your problem. When they said that he was going to be in Spider-Man Homecoming, I remember the article, the trades all reporting on it. Like, oh, he's going to have a small role. No one knows who he's going to be playing. And then kind of rumors started trickling that he's going to be Matt Gargan. And now this is also at the time when Vulture and you were going to have Shocker showing up. And I was like, okay, well, I don't think we're going to get like Scorpion, but at least maybe a tease. And we didn't even really get much with the suit. There was some rumor that he was actually on the ferry buying the suit from Vulture.
Oh.
I remember that one for a while, but we'll see where they go narratively with that. And the post-credit scene happened. It got me excited, got me hopeful, even though I kind of knew we were going this multiversal route. So it was just one that I never thought I would see again, very similar to the leader from the first Incredible Hulk movie. And it was one that always kind of saddened me because when they announced it and it was confirmed, I was like,
keep it going, buddy. I'm going to
"Holy
take care of
crap."
my crazy dog.
Yep. I'm just like, holy crap, did they not have the best actor in it? Like, I was so excited. I'm a huge Better Call Saul fan. I think it's better than Breaking Bad. And I'm just like, holy shit, they have nailed this casting. That is the best casting for Scorpion I think that they could come up with. And so I've just been waiting, biding my time, hoping one day we would get it back. And now Destin Daniel Cretton is making it a reality. Now, I still think he's going to be a small role. I don't think he's going to be the main villain in it, but I'd like to see him pop up once or twice. And I hope that we get the full Scorpion suit. And we'll see what happens. But it is news that excites me greatly. And thank you for dealing with my rant about Scorpion. I'm very excited.
No, thank you for going on a rant about Scorpion. And by the way, I was listening when I was fixing my camera and my dog, all kinds of stuff going on around here. But perfect thing to ask Kevin Feige when he's off his PR game. Totally.
He wouldn't be expecting it. No one's gonna ask about it.
He'd probably be like, you'd have to ask Amy Pascal and like just like go away.
Do you want to see him again? The answer is yes. Yes, I do. Listen,
No.
If they sneak Vulture into this movie with Scorpion, I'm going to be the most unbearable person on this planet.
Listen, something that I want to say is I think, do you think they're going to do the comic book thing of Scorpion was hired by J. Jonah Jameson?
I don't. I think they're going to go the Vendetta route.
Mm-hmm.
I would love that they secretly have Kingpin in this movie, and he's actually the one facilitating. You know, he's up in his anti-vigilante task force,
Listen, I'd
actually
love that.
having superpowered individual. Well, I guess not superpowered, super enhanced individuals. We'll see where it goes. I would also not be shocked if he's just a loose cannon roaming about.
True. But anyway, guys,
'Cause that also begs the question: do we see J. Jonah Jameson again with J.K. Simmons?
I think so.
You think he's showing up again?
Oh, yeah. Just because it's easy to
yeah.
have him, because he's like the Alex Jones underground thing. Like, you could literally bring him in for a day and shoot all of his scenes.
Well, he was like in No Way Home, though.
Yeah. But I don't know about that. That's why I think it'd be interesting if they do the Scorpion route of, like, he wants to create negative stories about Spider-Man, so he, like, helps Scorpion, like, get this. I mean, they probably won't do that, but I don't know. It'd be cool.
Do you think they bring back Tinker to make the suit?
They might. That's
That
a
would
good
be
pull.
a deep. So that's the guy who worked for Vulture that made all of the tech.
Mm-hmm.
That would be an
Listen,
interesting pull.
just bring back Shocker in the suit. I just want to see Shocker in the suit. That's what I want.
They have a great actor playing Shocker too.
Yes, they do with Bokeem Woodbine. Yes, they do. Anyway, guys, what do you think about the Hulk and the Scorpion coming back for Brand New Day? I love how much we talked about that. Moving on to the next story. Moving on into the animated Spider-Man realm. You guys are probably familiar with the Into the Spider-Verse franchise over at Sony. It's currently a trilogy with the third film set to come out sometime before we die, allegedly. But as they're working on that, Deadline, I think it was Deadline, let me pull this up. Yes, Deadline has confirmed that there is a spin-off movie in development of the Spider-Verse movies. And you might be thinking, there's a lot of fucking Spider-Mans in those movies. Which one is it? It is Spider-Punk. He has animated spin-off movies in development. Daniel Kaluuya, who voiced the character, is also set to co-write the script. Plot is being kept under wraps, obviously, but he is expected to return to voice, obviously. And the upcoming Spider-Verse projects include Brand New Day, Beyond the Spider-Verse, the live-action Spider-Noir series with Nicolas Cage on Amazon, which, of course, we're going to be excited for as well. Nick, when I saw this announced, one of my favorite things I saw on Twitter today was someone quote-tweeted the article with the caption that just said, "Big news for the Where is Daniel Kaluuya crowd." So,
where is Daniel Kaluuya?
Yeah, exactly. But I think this is cool. I think it's exciting. It does beg more questions about what they want to do with this franchise, because I was convinced that after the third Spider-Verse movie that they were just going to turn Miles live action, maybe not that specific version, but then do a live action Miles afterwards. But it seems like they have more animated Spider-Verse things planned. So I'm fine with whatever they want to do, considering I love those films. So I love Daniel Kaluuya. I love the character. I love the franchise. I'm in. But it's not what I expected. How about you?
No, I agree. Out of all the characters that they could have spun off, I would have thought Gwen Stacy would have been top of the list with a Spider-Gwen movie, but I'm fine with a live-action Nick Cage Spider-Man noir, and I'm very excited about Spider-Punk. I thought he was maybe one of my favorite new variants that they had introduced in the second one. I thought he did a great job performing it. I like what he's about. He was really funny. I think he played a great sort of narrative plot point in the second one and helping Miles Morales kind of escape it, just kind of playing more into the whole, fuck the system type vibe. So, and I thought his art style and his animation was very interesting to see. So I am excited to sort of explore his world more. And I do love when actors and, kind of start to take over elements of the character and the role and have that sort of voice in the development of it. So I think it's very exciting that he's co-writing it. I know he was a co-writer on, was it Judas and the Black Messiah?
Yes.
I think is what he co-wrote. And did that get an Oscar nomination too?
He won the Oscar.
He won the Oscar. Well, there we go. We have an Oscar-winning screenwriter working on a Spider-Punk movie.
I'm sorry.
So
he won as an actor.
Oh, he won as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe he co-wrote the movie.
He might have. I'll look that up while you're talking.
I'm like 90% sure he co-wrote it, but we'll see. So I think it's very exciting when they have an interest in the character and want to see him succeed and are taking the onus upon themselves to be involved in the writing process to get this project made and developed. And again, where has Daniel Kaluuya been?
He was not one of the writers, but he was
one of
the stars.
He wrote it. How about that? Whoops, guys. That's why we fact check.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Has he written anything?
Perhaps. Well, I'm pulling him up. Maybe you're like onto something that he wrote something else. I know that he was developing the Barney reboot.
Oh yeah, with is Ayoade Ebiri involved in that too? I think
so. He wrote a 2023 project called The Kitchen. Looks like it was a film for Netflix that he co-directed.
With a 4.8. Hold on, guys. We might not be too excited about Spider-Punk.
We'll see. No,
it's
also
still excited
IMDb.
about it. It is IMDb. That is true.
All right, but anyway, guys,
we'll see where it goes then.
What do you think about the animated Spider-Punk movie coming along? Let us know as we move on to our main topic story today. 45 minutes before getting to the thumbnail. That's not bad. That's not bad. Guys, as you know, Star Wars Starfighter is coming soon. It will be the next Star Wars movie after The Mandalorian and Grogu comes out next year. This one comes out in 2027 for the 50th anniversary of Star Wars. And as we know, it is directed by Sean Levy and stars Ryan Gosling. But now, they have just cast the villain of the film. Mia Goth is in it as well, by the way. They just cast the lead villain of the film, and that villain is none other than the Doctor himself, Matt Smith. As we mentioned, he's joining a cast already with Ryan Gosling and Mia Goth. Sean Levy, 2027, and it is set 5 years after The Rise of Skywalker. This comes to us from Deadline, and hopefully Matt Smith can get some redemption here because he was the villain in Morbius, and I'll say it, he was the best part of that movie. he was having a great time. But
I tried so hard to find a high resolution photo from the dance sequence to include as of the photo instead of this one.
listen, that would have been a difficult task. It would have been. But what's interesting with Matt Smith coming to be the villain in this film, which is what we bring up in our thumbnail as well, is the fact that he at one point was going to be in The Rise of Skywalker. And there were a lot of rumored characters he was supposed to be playing that he's never publicly confirmed. But some people thought he was going to be Tor Valum, which I believe was the... Did you ever read the Duel of the Fates script that I sent you?
I did, yes.
Remember Tor Valum?
Quite good.
It was good. Apparently, some people remember that he was going to be Tor Valum, and then when that script changed into Rise of Skywalker, he left. But a lot of people were saying that he was supposed to play a young Emperor Palpatine, because Emperor Palpatine is in that film, and apparently at one point early in the story, they were gonna show some young Palpatine, and apparently it was gonna be Matt Smith, allegedly, rumored. And even at one point, for like 3 days, on StarWars.com, like on the official Star Wars website, he was listed as part of the cast. Like, way, like before the movie even started shooting, like when they just announced the movie. So that was like this was going to happen at some point. Who he was playing is still up for debate, but he was going to be in the movie. And Nick, as you mentioned, if you were ever interviewing Kevin Feige, I need somebody on this goddamn Starfighter press tour to find out who the fuck he was playing. That's what I need. It's got to be, give me Josh Horowitz, give me Jake Hamilton, Kevin McCarthy, Brandon Davis, give me these people. Get in the room and find out who the fuck he was playing. That's what we need to know. I don't know where I was going with that, but I love Matt Smith as an actor. I think he is phenomenal. Obviously, I'm biased. I'm a fucking... Look at this shit. I'm obviously a massive Doctor Who fan, and I think he's great in everything I've seen him in. He gave a very underrated performance in Last Night in Soho, an underrated movie, by the way, that he's great in. He looks like he's going to be great in Caught Stealing, coming out later this year, which I'm really excited to see. He also tends to be in bad franchise movies, which keeps me worried about this movie, considering he was in Terminator. It wasn't Genesis. Which Terminator was he in? Was it Genesis?
Yeah, it was Genesis.
He was in Terminator Genesis, and then he was in... Morbius, yep. So, not the best of luck there. But also what I find interesting, and then I'll throw it to you, I promise, is he has a very interesting relationship with Ryan Gosling, which I would not be shocked if Ryan Gosling is the reason why Matt Smith got cast in this movie. Ryan Gosling is a massive Doctor Who fan. Not a lot of people know that. And when Ryan Gosling was making his directorial feature film debut in 2014, he cast Matt Smith, and Matt Smith getting the part in that movie was one of the things that made him feel comfortable saying he was going to leave Doctor Who. So he left Doctor Who to go be in Ryan Gosling's movie, which ultimately didn't work out very well, and it wasn't very well received, but that obviously formed a relationship with them where they get to work together in this capacity now, which I just find very interesting. Matt Smith was also in the movie His House for like 2 seconds, which is a great horror movie on Netflix, by the way. Just when I try to throw out His House whenever I can. That's my goal here. And Nick, before I throw it over to you, Hannah brings up in the live chat, man, Mia Goth would have been a great villain, though. Who's to say she's also not a villain? We'll have to see. But with that being said, Nick, throwing it over to you. Give me your thoughts.
No, I am mixed on it. I love the guy. I love Matt Smith. Who doesn't love Matt? That's the Doctor, man, And I thought he was a great Doctor. He has an excellent TV resume with Doctor Who, The Crown, and now House of Dragon, which I heard he's been crushing it in.
I've heard so as well.
And then on the flip side, his movie career has been kind of hit or miss, like you said, with the franchise movies. So I really don't know where we're heading with this. But I do like Sean Levy as a director. There's a lot of Sean Levy slander out there, which some of it valid, some of it not valid, but overall I enjoy it. So I am very excited about it. I love Ryan Gosling. I didn't know their history together. I thought that was very interesting to see. And in terms of who he's playing, there's a chance maybe it is like that character that they wanted him to play being kind of reused for a bit. There was this rumor that with Rise of Skywalker, he was going to be a Palpatine clone because of the whole cloning storyline.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're picking up 5 years after that. So maybe there's a clone that exists out there. I don't know. I think it'll be very interesting to see. I love the idea of him playing a little bit more of a menacing villain because I thought that he did a great job in that in Last Night in Soho.
Hmm.
I thought he did a great performance, kind of that eerie, menacing take in that. It looks like he's kind of giving a very similar kind of vibe, a little more comedic with Caught Stealing, which is a movie I am actively excited for. That
Oh, yes.
very confuses me because Darren Aronofsky does not make normal movies, and that just seems like a normal heist movie. So I'm waiting to see what the actual story is because I feel like it's gonna get nutty. But I think it's I Star Wars tries your patience. You know, when it's high, it's high. When it's low, it's fucking god awful. Um, but this is one that I am excited for. All the pieces are coming together for me. I do like Sean Levy. I like Ryan Gosling. I like Mia Goth. I like Matt Smith. So positive in my book, and I am very interested to see who he's playing. If it's something new, if it's an old character coming back, or whatever it could be.
No, me as well. Me as well. Ad nauseum, I think I love Matt Smith, and I think he's. I hope he does a great job, and I hope he shines in Star Wars with Sean Levy. I think he's in good hands with Sean Levy. Sean Levy gets a lot of shit. I think he's a fun director, and I think it's going to be interesting. No, go ahead.
Are you kind of done with the Skywalker story? Like, do you kind of wish that this was something a little bit more removed than just 5 years?
No,
Do you
because
think that they need to do else, for lack of a better word, like Elseworld type Star Wars movies, or do you think everything kind of has to have that narrative through line to really be Star Wars?
I don't think it has to have the narrative through line, but I also think you need to set movies in the future. Like, you need to go forward. And this is the first time we've gone forward since 2019. So it's like, we need to go forward, whether it's 5 years or whatever, let's go forward. And, Andor is the best thing that Disney Star Wars has ever done, and that was not forward. So, I also recognize that. But I think in terms of your franchise, you got to keep it moving. And so I think finally getting something that's moving forward is going to be great. The next Star Wars movie is backwards. Mandalorian and Grogu is set before Force Awakens. So it's like, we're taking a step back and then forward. It's like, let's just go forward. So that's what I want to see. So when I was talking about the Ryan Gosling thing with Matt Smith and their history, I went down a rabbit hole of before I had a YouTube channel or a podcast, I still followed movie news religiously. And then as I was talking about it, I'm like, man, I remember I was following this movie so hard, and I never watched it because the movie's called Lost River. But I remember I was like, it had an original title that was really cool, and they changed it. And I was trying to remember what the original title was. So as you were talking, I literally was trying to find out what the original title of the movie was. And I found it in the IMDb trivia. It was called How to Catch a Monster. And I remember when it was called that, I was like, dang, that sounds cool. And then they changed it to Lost River. And I'm like, why would you change it to Lost River? How to Catch a Monster sounds so much better. But, and I remember the movie not being received well. And then while I was on the IMDb trivia, I found this. Following the movie's mixed reception at the Cannes Film Festival, Warner Brothers considered selling the distribution rights to another company, but in the end just decided to release it on a limited platform with simultaneous on-demand release. It's like, damn.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So they've been doing day and date for before COVID.
Yes, astute observation there. But yeah, sorry, I went down a rabbit hole there. But it was going to bother me so bad if I couldn't find what the original title was, because I remembered it being
title.
Cool.
They should have went with that.
I agree. Yo, do you know what the original title for Edge of Tomorrow was?
It was Live, Die, Repeat, right?
That was the second title. I'm talking about the original title.
There was an original one before Live, Die, Repeat?
Yes, and the thing it's based on is titled this.
Is it based off a book?
I think it might have been a graphic novel.
Okay. What was it called?
All You Need Is Kill.
Oh, hell yeah.
Why not call it that? That's the coolest name ever.
Don't be afraid to call your movie something cool.
Listen, the rule of cool still exists, okay? Listen, some people make fun of filmmakers of saying, why are you doing this? It's not practical, blah, blah, blah. If the answer is because it's fucking cool, sometimes that's all you need. It's cool.
I like an overly elaborate movie title, too. The Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
Yes.
Coolest DC movie title.
Dr. Strangelove or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Precious, based on the novel Push by Sapphire. You know, there's
Die Hard.
several.
That's not one. Oh,
Good pull. Good pull. Well, guys, what do you think about Matt Smith joining Star Wars Starfighter as the villain? Let us know in the comments as we move on to the B-roll section of our show. And if I'm not mistaken, Nicholas, you wanted to do the intros on the B-roll.
yeah. I thought I would give you a little bit of a break. You kind of start the show, you do all the trailers, the first looks, the main stories. I thought I'd give you a little bit of a break here with the B-roll stuff. So, without further, you do have to control the PowerPoint, though.
I got you, buddy.
That, right?
Yep.
All right. So now on to the B-roll, guys. Our first story is a follow-up from a story we had been following for quite some time here, in that there is a submarine thriller movie called Subversion, which is set to star Chris Hemsworth and is going to be beginning filming here. Well, they have added to their cast. And the person they've added is Michael Peña from End of Watch, from Ant-Man.
Hell
He played
yeah.
Luis in those movies. And I like Michael Peña. This is great news. I'm very curious to see him in an action movie like that. We haven't really seen that since like End of Watch, really. He's kind of done a little bit more comedic roles, a couple dramas here and there. So I'm very excited for this. And I also believe Lily James has joined the cast as well, from Baby Driver, Pam and Tommy, and a bunch of other projects there.
Mamma Mia 2. Don't forget Mamma Mia 2.
Here we go again.
Dude, top 5 joke you've ever made. Top 5 joke you've ever done. I loved it.
And just to kind of recap this, it's sort of a game of cat and mouse between a Coast Guard and a submarine pilot who's got a bunch of illegal stuff on his sub. However, there's no information on what Michael Peña is playing yet. Chris Hemsworth is piloting the submarine, and Lily James is confirmed to be the Coast Guard. So, very exciting.
Before we move on, Michael Peña, when you said Michael Peña action thriller, he's in a movie called Shooter from 2007, is very specific, with Mark Wahlberg and Kate Mara. That movie, I can't even remember. I don't even know if it's good. All I can tell you is I have fond memories of loving it. And like I watched it probably 10 times. Like, I love that movie. It might be terrible. I haven't seen it since 2007, but I loved it when I watched it.
It was the coolest thing 2007 Dalton had ever seen.
And I remember Michael Peña being very good in it. So just, throwing it out there.
All right. Moving on to our next topic. Timothée Chalamet, and you also know director James Mangold, who I believe is actually also allegedly making a Star Wars movie and also a Swamp Thing movie, and is just coming off a nomination for directing Timothée Chalamet in the Bob Dylan biopic, A Complete Unknown. Well, their team up is not over yet, as they have finally landed on their next project together. And that is a project called Highlander, which is apparently like a motocross heist movie or action movie, something like that. Here's the quick plot description. I have it pulled up here. In Highlander, Billy, a former MotoGP racer who's haunted by a career-ending crash and a family legacy of abandonment, but is drawn back into the world of high-speed risks and extreme dangers. So we got bank jobs, we got motorcycle parades, high-speed action, emotional twists and turns. Sign me up.
There it is. Listen, this is obviously very exciting. I think these two reteaming is a great idea. I don't think Swamp Thing or his Star Wars movie are ever getting made. I'm just going to throw that out there. If he keeps doing these projects, which, hey, I'm not even mad about. He can make whatever he wants. He's earned that right. He has earned that right. And obviously, this is very exciting. And I read the article that announced that, and it said like all of Hollywood is like, it might cause a bidding war. So that would be super duper fun.
I mean, it would make sense. You have one of the you have a great director working right now with the hottest actor, not hottest actor, the hottest actor. Well, I guess you could say it. But
yeah, he's kind of both. I mean, really.
He's kind of both. He's a high quality candidate for being in your movie. You want Timothée Chalamet in there. The boy's got range. He could do Wonka and Dune back to back, and it doesn't bother me at all. Moving on to our next B-roll. Dalton, are you aware of a little movie known as The Batman? starring Robert Pattinson.
Yes, I believe it's the one that came out 84 years ago.
It came out 84 years ago, and we just got a little movement in the past 2 months with James Gunn confirming that Matt Reeves has in fact handed him a script. And they even made a whole social media post about it to show you, guys, this movie's still happening. Well, we have some exciting updates on that. And that, according to some of the production websites, the Batman Part 2 is looking to begin filming in spring of 2026, which means we are eyeing probably a 2027 release date on that thing. So
I believe it's fall of 2027.
Oh, boy. But I will not believe that this movie is real until I see the first set photo of them back in production on it. They can tell me these dates all they want. I choose to believe that this movie's not real.
And listen, that's totally fair. This is exciting. The fact that it's coming out in fall 2027 while shooting spring of 2026, unlike Spider-Man, VFX workers will be totally fine. They'll have good working conditions. They'll be able to see their families. It'll be a lovely time for everyone.
Do you think Spider-Man hits that date with VFX? They got a Hulk in their movie.
To me, I would be surprised. However, I've heard that they don't want to move the date. I've heard from several people that they don't want to move the date. So what I'm hoping happened is because you can do a lot of the visual effects work way beforehand, before you start shooting, if your script is locked. So I'm hoping that they locked the script a while ago, started VFX work, and they're 6 months into VFX when they start shooting. That would be ideal. If that's the case, I think they'll be fine. But we don't know if that's the case, so that's the issue there.
Gotcha. And then moving on to our last B-roll story here. It has been announced that James Gunn is currently writing the next movie in the Super family. So obviously we have just come off the release of Superman. We have a Supergirl movie coming out that he did not write, being directed by Craig Gillespie. And now it's saying that, the Super family is still alive and well, and James Gunn is working on it. And he has said that this project would involve Superman, but is not a Superman sequel directly, is I believe what the rumors going around there. So it begs the question of what the hell this movie actually is. I'm leaning toward a full crypto animated movie.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
What do you think? What is this next super do you think it is just quote unquote a super family movie, a Superman Supergirl team up?
Could be Superman Supergirl team up. Could be. I like your crypto idea. I think that's a good idea. I'm just going to throw it out there as to what I think it is, okay?
Jimmy Olsen versus Gorilla Grodd. I agree.
That'd be amazing. No. I'm going to throw it out there. It's not going to get a good response, but I'm just going to do it anyway, okay? It's Justice League. I think he's writing something that's not going to come out for a hot minute, and it's going to be a Justice League movie. And I think, because just next year we're getting Lanterns, this year we're getting Peacemaker, and next year we're getting Lanterns and Supergirl, probably Clayface, probably Creature Commando Season 2, and I wouldn't be surprised if 2027 we get Wonder Woman. We're going to get the Batman Part 2, which is not part of the DCU, but if they announce that it is, then we're getting a Wonder Woman and Batman movie in 2027, and this movie that he's writing could be the Justice League movie for 28.
So do you think Super Family is just the Justice League, not specific to Superman, Supergirl,
Well, we also have to remember that the person who said Super Family was David Zaslav. That's kind of
that's a very important distinction.
That's kind of like my dad being like, the new Marvel movie, and he's talking about Aquaman.
It's supposed to be nuts.
Yeah. Yes. So it's one of those things where, okay, it could be very deliberate. It could be actually Super Family. But, I saw that James Gunn put on his story the quote, and people were being like, oh, that confirms it's part of the Super Family. I'm like, no, if I didn't want people to know what I was writing and someone misquoted what it was, I would also share it. I'd be like, yes, get off the trail.
There's no way he doesn't end up writing and directing the first Justice League movie.
Yeah.
There's no way, especially if he's launching with Superman. I think he's going to take it upon himself to do the big team-ups at that point. And then I think once he can get Justice League safe, kind of launching the first Avengers, then I think he'll go and start doing the projects he he really wants to work on, kind of the weird corners of the DC universe that I could see him coming back with.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be shocked if we go like a Suicide Squad sequel route. Or if
Maybe.
there's some other like weird character. Like I know he's been a big proponent of trying to get Deadman in the DCU. I could see doing that. I could see him kind of doing that kind of thing.
Do you remember that there was supposed to be a Bane Deathstroke movie?
I do remember that.
I don't think he's writing that. But if they're making stuff like that, it could be something weird. I think you're right.
That's like it's just gonna like I think they want to play it safe through Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
Get that going and then just start going nuts with it.
And I think doing a Justice League movie where half of them are established and half of them aren't is a smart idea. Because even through Superman, we've established Superman, Krypto, Supergirl, Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl are all now established in the world, and it all felt relatively cohesive. Yeah. So now you can do Justice League with some of those characters, all those characters, plus 2 we haven't met before, and then you can use that to build them up. I think it's perfectly possible.
Do you think he goes full Legion of Doom right out the gate?
Legion of Doom? I mean, he could, because this world's been well established for like 3 centuries of metahumans. He could. We'll have to see. We'll have to see where all these characters end up.
We do, yeah, and who they actually form. I know Wonder Woman, he's been very vocal being a top priority for them to get out there. So I wouldn't be shocked if we get... You think we get like a casting announcement by the end of the year on that?
This year? No.
Yeah, no.
Mm-mm.
You don't think that thing's going into production by the end of next year?
By the end of next year, sure, but I don't think we're getting the casting this year.
No?
Not unless she shows up in a project, but I don't think she's going to be in Peacemaker. I don't think she's going to be in Lanterns. I don't think she's going to be in Supergirl. Yeah. So it's all stuff that it hasn't been made already.
That's true. We shall see.
We shall see.
We shall see. That'll do it for the B-roll, folks.
Now we're going to go to Off the Reel. And these are, as we mentioned to earlier with Kevin Davis, which we're going to get to the Mandalorian one soon. These are what we talk about whenever we just have a question that we ponder during the week that we want to bring up to the other person. I like to think of these as, before we had a show, these are just things I would randomly call you and ask you about movies in the world.
Pretty much what it is.
And that's basically exactly what this is. So the first one is this, and this is something I started talking to you about earlier, and I was like, wait, let's save it for the show. Should the Punisher special be a film instead? That is my first off the reel question to you. I'm going to answer it for myself first, though. With an asterisk of I'm incredibly biased and that I want to see a Punisher movie really bad. But I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that bias, you guys. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna put it over here. Putting it over here. Bias over here. They should absolutely turn this into a feature-length film. Are you crazy? They're literally putting Punisher in a Spider-Man movie. That is the biggest creme de la creme character at a time where Marvel viewership and interest is declining. What's not declining? Spider-Man. Meaning anything in Spider-Man is going to get bumped. Doctor Strange 2 almost made $1 billion. Why? I think partially because he was in a Spider-Man movie that everyone loved and was excited about. You have the Punisher. You have this character who's been well established by John Bernthal, has been on TV, meaning him being in Spider-Man is already just free commercials for all the past shows he's in. But now you have a chance to pull what you did with Black Panther, with other characters, of have this character pop up in a movie that you know is good, that you know is going to be successful, that you want to introduce a movie audience to, and have people, because they're, believe it or not, as big as TV viewership you think is, which we're going to get into with The Mandalorian, as big of TV audience you think exists, the movie audience is so much bigger. There are going to be people who watch this movie who have no idea who the Punisher is. And they're going to see this character and be like, wow, what a cool fucking character. I want to see whatever this character does. And then imagine if you had a Punisher movie on your shelf, damn it, just ready to go. And then, bam, drop it in October. I don't know. And then you have a Punisher movie ready to go. I think it would be a great idea to turn it into a film. You have about 45 minutes. Just shoot 45 more. You got it. There it is. But I'm not upset about being a special presentation. I love it. Another risk you run is, obviously, in the Spider-Man movie, it's not going to be a very R-rated Punisher, and you might have someone who's like 13 watch Spider-Man Brand New Day and be like, I want to see that character, and they convince their parents to take them to the Punisher movie, and then it's just a gore fest, which, you do run that risk, because on their Disney Plus, they don't have the R-rated stuff unlocked, probably. But I do think you're leaving money on the table. I do think that Punisher is a character that, one, there's been theatrical Punisher films before to varying levels of success, but it's not like it's a concept that's entirely crazy. You feel comfortable enough to put him in a feature film. Why not give him a film? Why not give him a film? And I think it only benefits, like, his stock goes up by being in a Spider-Man movie with the general public. That's all I'm saying. Nick, I'm throwing it to you. What do you think?
I understand some of your points there, especially kind of the last one with his stock going up. I think that the Punisher is still a very recognizable character. It's a very recognizable logo, currently politically for the wrong reasons, but it still has that sort of recognition. People understand and know the character. I do not think it should be a theatrical film, though. I think it should remain a special presentation.
Go on.
And mine is not necessarily about the Punisher himself, but more just the concept of the special presentations. One, if they had 45 minutes and that's the story they wanted to tell, obviously there's a lot of stuff and rumors going around about the Nucci family being involved. We've shown set photos. And maybe they just didn't have the story to try to flesh it out and stretch it out into, a feature. And I think if they had a 45-minute story that they wanted to tell and they could do that to full throttle, give it 110% the whole way through, I think that's better long-term for the Punisher brand than a movie that kind of may end up being a misfire if they just try to elongate a story that didn't need to be elongated. More, not necessarily about the Punisher, but just the concept. This is what I think special presentations should be. I loved Werewolf by Night. I thought that was a great self-contained story. It established so much lore. It established a whole new side of the MCU, which I actively want to see again, but they are kind of actively ignoring. But I thought it did it to such a wonderful extent. It was stylistically very different. Michael Giacchino did a great job with it. And the Guardians Christmas special was a fun little romp there. But I like the idea of these special presentations being used as the supplemental storytelling that's maybe not necessary canonically for you to watch, but you do enrich the story, right? Because if you look at like something, spoilers for Daredevil Born Again, you see at the end Punisher is sort of being held captive somewhere and gets out. Or is he still in the cage at the end of it? Punisher's trapped
He's
somewhere.
gonna get out.
He's gonna get out.
Yeah.
And I think that this story is going to kind of revolve around him getting out and what he does next, which is going to lead him directly into Daredevil Born Again Season 2, which is then going to lead him into Brand New Day. And I think that having this 45-minute presentation about that and setting up for his role in Daredevil Born Again Season 2, I like more than wasting a whole episode of Daredevil Born Again Season 2 telling me what Punisher was up to.
Listen, I love the concept of the special presentations. I also love Werewolf by Night.
Yeah.
But I think the whole purpose of the special presentation is to tell a contained story on a risk that you're not willing to spend money on a movie or a TV show on, like a Werewolf by Night, like a character that they have never done before live action or barely animated. And they were like, I don't feel comfortable like funding a whole movie or a full series, but like I can give you like a pilot, like a 45-minute special. Like, if you want to do, like, forgive me for the deep cut, but like a Kid Colt, give him a special presentation. Like, a character that no one's ever heard of like, who is this? Like, I wouldn't greenlight that movie or that show, but a 45-minute special? Okay, like, let's see it, and or like if they did Man-Thing, I know Man-Thing is in Werewolf by Night, but if he wasn't, like, that would have been a great special presentation. And I think that the Punisher, a character that they have now since canonized the Netflix stuff, but even before that, even if you just go on Daredevil Born Again, which would be their official thing, he's excellent in it. He's been introduced. The fandom knows who he is. And it would almost be treating it like Deadpool. When they made Deadpool and Wolverine, Kevin Feige assumed that even though Deadpool was not part of the MCU, he's like, people have seen and know who Deadpool is. Now, granted, Deadpool was a lot more successful than the Punisher ever was financially. Let's not, pretend that that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that the Punisher special presentation only exists because Jon Bernthal probably pitched a movie or pitched something, and they were like, you can do this. And I feel like the stock that Punisher is about to get from Spider-Man, they're not capitalizing on properly because Spider-Man comes out last. Like, it's, from what we understand right now, it's the special Born Again Season 2 Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And it's like, flip those around. Like, now what I do love is they are now doing it the right way of, instead of having a movie promote a show, they're having a show promote a movie, which I think is very smart and how they should be doing this. So I do like that. But at the same time, I think giving him a movie could work. And here's the thing. You raise the stock with Punisher. I think you can now make a Daredevil movie after Spider-Man Brand New Day.
I was just about to ask that. Like, why not just jump to Daredevil then at that point?
I would love that. I would love that dearly.
Like, but like, do you do just a Daredevil? Like, is the risk of a Punisher solo movie, like, does that make less money than just a full Daredevil Punisher team-up movie?
Maybe, maybe not. It depends, right? Because imagine if after Captain America Civil War, but let's pretend Disney Plus was a thing back in 2016. Instead of putting Black Panther in Civil War and then they do the Black Panther movie, they did a 45-minute special presentation of Black Panther and then he was in Civil War. It'd be like, okay, cool, I know who the character is, but I think people are more intrigued by seeing a character they're totally blown away by that had no, like, who is this? Like, it's like the feeling that you have with Black Panther in that movie from the general audience. Like, people like you and I know who Black Panther is. But, like, I remember going to see that movie with the girl I was dating at the time and her going, like, who was that? That character was awesome. And then immediately you're like, all right, when Black Panther comes out, they just got all these people who that movie was a risk and now it's not. And I feel like you could build off that. Now, Nicholas, in a perfect world, we get a Punisher special presentation and a fucking movie in 2 years. That would be delightful. That would be amazing.
Do you think that that's sort of what they're building toward? Just they're putting him in these projects and even putting him in Brand New Day with the purpose of, like, maybe Jon Bernthal, like you said, pitched a movie. Maybe it's different than what the special presentation is. And they're kind of like, well, we'll give you this. Let's see how it works. We'll put you in Spider-Man. We'll see how the audience feels about you. Because do you think... I know that they made Deadpool R-rated because it was already established. And I know the shows get a little bit more violent, but do you think Marvel's not ready to commit to a full R-rated Punisher movie?
I think they are.
Yeah?
I think they're fully ready. I think after Deadpool made $1 billion, I think they are. And not only that, Daredevil Born Again might be the most violent thing I've ever seen Marvel do.
It is. No, hands down.
Period. And even that, if it's a standalone Punisher movie, they'll make it rated R. Mm-hmm. And we heard that before they halted Blade, that the final version they were doing was an R-rated film. Like, they were going to do Blade rated R. So it's like, all right, I don't think they're scared of the R rating anymore. You're not going to make Spider-Man rated R, and you shouldn't.
No, yeah.
So, like, I understand why they're doing it that way. But what becomes interesting now, right, is... if you do a standalone Punisher movie, I don't think Sony allows Spider-Man to be in it because it's rated R. But if you do a Daredevil movie and it's like edgy PG-13, they'd let Spider-Man be in that. And then that's how you get Kingpin, Daredevil, Punisher, Spider-Man is in a Daredevil movie. We lost Nicholas, but he'll be back in just a moment, as this tends to happen. There he is.
I got so excited about the concept of Daredevil, Punisher, Spider-Man.
That Kevin Feige shot you.
Yeah.
But that's how I think you do that, is through a Daredevil movie. But I don't think they're going to do one. But, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I see your point. Guys, leaving it up to you. Should The Punisher get a feature film instead of a presentation? Or should it be both, like I'm suggesting? That would be great. Let us know as we move on to our next one. And Kevin Davis, if you're still here, we've made it to your question.
God bless you if you are.
Yes. Nicholas, next off the reel. Will the Mandalorian and Grogu movie break even? This time, I'm going to throw it to you first so that I can get my Pepe Sylvia self ready to go. Nicholas?
Oh man, you got stuff ready for this question?
Will the movie break even?
I think that the Mandalorian and Grogu movie will just break even. I don't think it's going to lose money. I don't think it's going to be a massive money maker like they're anticipating. I think it is just going to hit that 2.5 profitability range. And that is my thoughts on that.
Interesting.
Do you need time? I can elaborate.
No. I don't really need more time. So here's what I'll say. Kevin Davis specifically asked, I'll bring up his question again because it was a while ago. He specifically asked if we think it was going to make $1 billion. No, I do not think it's going to make $1 billion. The only thing I think it has going for it to make $1 billion is that it's the first theatrical Star Wars movie in about 7 years. That's not nothing. That's going to have some hype just from like, oh my God, it's a Star Wars movie again. But let's not pretend that there's been no Star Wars in between Rise of Skywalker and this movie. The brand has been diluted, I think you can say. And I'm a fan of a lot of the stuff they've put out. But I think it's fair to say that in terms of the overall general vibe from the general public, the brand's been a bit diluted by what's come from the Rise of Skywalker to now. So, while there's that length of time, and time usually generates hype, I don't think it's enough to get you $1 billion. Now, here's what's interesting. I did some research on this, and I found several sources that say, now granted, this hasn't been officially confirmed by the studio, so it could be wrong, but I've heard that through a California tax credit and through using the volume, the budget of the movie is only $165 million. If that's the case, excellent job by Lucasfilm keeping the budget of this movie down. I hope the volume stuff looks good, and typically it does with Mando versus other things, but I'm hoping that, it still looks good. But it's a great job in keeping that budget down. And if that's the case, it only needs to make a roughly, let's see here.
I just think Star Wars stock is low right now, though.
It roughly needs to make about $412.5 million to break even. Do I think it can make $500 million? Yes, I can. Yes, I do think it can make that. So I do think it will break even. But how much will it make is the question, Nicholas. And something I like to bring up all the time, forgive me for being on my phone, I promise it's for a purpose. Mm-hmm. Something I like to bring up all the time is, listen, the TV audience is big. It is not the movie audience, right? I often say that. Nielsen is a streaming data company that compiles streaming data and puts it into numbers for people. Let's look at the most recent Mandalorian episode, which was the Mandalorian Season 3 finale, which I think is a good representation of where Star Wars is at, right? Mm-hmm. In an article that was published in May of 2023, so shortly after the finale of The Mandalorian Season 3, they've concluded that through 38 minutes and 56 seconds, with a little over 1 million viewing minutes, it equals about 26 million people watching. Right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Now, The Mandalorian Season 2 finale with Luke Skywalker had about 30 million people watching. So, overall, more than probably 26 million people watched. Let's just say it was 30 million total. It might have been more because it stays on streaming. It's not like it's out for a certain period of time. Let's just say it's 30 million. Now, let's say 30 million people go see Mandalorian and Grogu. Mm-hmm. And let's say that the average movie ticket is $15. I know in some places it's $20. I know in some places it's $9. Let's just say the average is $15. 30 million times 15 is only $450 million. So if it's going to make $500 million, more people have to go see this movie than watched the finale of The Mandalorian season 3.
Do you
Season
think that
2
the
even.
general audience wants to go see it if they haven't watched the show? Like, do you think there's going to be that disassociation with it?
That is the crux of the question. That is the crux of the question. Now, do I think people will go? Yes, I do. I think they'll go, and Grogu is the thing that will get them to go. There are going to be a lot of people. They're going to put that cute bitch in this trailer, and people are going to go, yes, that's what I want to go see. And they're going to go see it. And listen, I think the movie is going to make probably about $600 million. Probably. Which would be very profitable for the $165 million budget. I would love to see it make more than that. I would love to be a smashing success and be huge. But I'm just going to say right now, if this movie is not that successful, if this movie only pushes about $400 million, you know why? It's because everyone who went was the people who watched the show, and it's not as big as a movie-going audience.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
I think Pedro Pascal is going to be a big draw to it as well, just from a general
If they show his
standpoint.
face.
If he's in it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he's in it if they show his face, you're right. Mm-hmm. Do you think the concept of Grogu is going to confuse people that haven't watched the show, though?
No, I think they'll see a cute little thing, and it'll
be like, oh, that must be Grogu. The baby Yoda must be Grogu.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're going to call him Grogu in the trailer.
Yeah, no, 100%.
There's a reason why they put his name in the title. Is because they know how to market. They're not going to lose out on the baby Yoda money that they lost on season 1 of Mandalorian again.
No, they are not.
But yeah.
No, they are not.
Yeah, so to TLDR, do I think it will break even? Yes. Do I think it will make $1 billion? No. That's where
I'm going at just barely profitable.
Mm-hmm. But I think the budget is what helped them. If this movie had a $200 million budget,
not seeing it.
It'd be close.
I'm putting it in the like 450 to 500 range.
Okay, I'll go optimistic and say 600, but I would not be shocked if it's way less. Would not be shocked. Anyway, guys, do you think The Mandalorian and Grogu will make $1 billion or even just be break even? Let us know as we move on to our final off the reel today before moving on to the box office. And of course, we lost Nick again. Come on, buddy, come back. You can do it. There he is. Welcome back. Just in time for our last off the reel. And I think I'm cooking with this one, by the way. I think I might be on to something. The next off the reel question is, will Spider-Man Brand New Day be the final Tom Holland Spider-Man movie? And you may be thinking, Dalton, you fucking moron. No. We got Doomsday and Secret Wars coming out. Yes, we do. What's coming after?
The X-Men?
The X-Men. And that's really all we know. That's really all we know is coming after. And you might be thinking, but they're going to do a new trilogy. Oh, no. From what I understand, the new contract, because the original contract expired at Far From Home, the second Spider-Man movie, because it was for 3 Marvel movies and 2 Sony movies. That was the original contract. Then they made a new contract. And to my understanding, it was the flip this time. It was for 3 Sony movies and 2 Marvel movies. I could be wrong about that. Maybe it's 3 Marvel movies. But I'm pretty sure it's 3 Sony movies. And you're like, Dalton, again, No Way Home, Brand New Day. You're missing a movie. This can't be the last standalone Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. I think he's going to be in the 3rd Spider-Verse movie. And I think that satisfies his contract. And the last time we'll see him is Secret Wars.
Like, you think he'll be live action in Spider-Verse? And,
yes.
Like, a large role of it?
Maybe not a large role, but enough to justify the contract.
Ah.
And you might be thinking, what prompted you to think that this was going to be his last movie? Well, so many things are happening in this movie. You have the Hulk. You have the Punisher. You have Scorpion coming back. What's been rumored by other scoopers online is that we're going to get appearances from like Tarantula Tombstone. Like there's going to be like a montage, rumored, a montage of Spider-Man taking out villains in the 3 years in between movies. Why would they throw so much at the wall for this movie? What if it's the last Tom Holland one? And he's saying, you know what? If we're going out, let's go out. Like let's bring everyone that like I kind of wanted to see in a Spider-Man movie. Things that we haven't gotten yet. And really go for it. I think it's possible. Let me also make clear. I don't want this to be the last Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. Not at all. But I think it's very possible that after Secret Wars, we know that they're going to be doing like a soft reset of the MCU. Who knows where the Sony deal is at that time? They don't even know if they're going to be able to use Spider-Man. And they might just use it to focus on the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. And if you bring in Miles, this is where you could bring him in and have Peter kind of go off to the wayside. Or die in Secret Wars for all we know.
I don't think it's his last Spider-Man movie.
Okay.
I think there's going to be... I think he's definitely going to show up in Beyond the Spider-Verse. I think we have Brand New Day. He'll be in Secret Wars, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we're going to get a second Spider-Man movie after Brand New Day that I think is when they're going to bring in Miles.
Okay.
And I think that movie is going to be Peter and Miles together for the full length of the movie, very much the two Spider-Man movie. And then I think we're going to move over into like a Miles. The third, quote unquote, third movie in this trilogy is going to be more Miles's movie than at that point, with Tom Holland kind of popping in and out sporadically. But I think the second movie is going to be the two of them, full force, buddy cop, two-hander, and then moving more into kind of like that mentorship side of things.
Now, everything you're saying, I'm on board with. I would love that. But I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and I'm also going to be in the mind of the studio, right? Let's say that the deal ends after... Let's say it was... Let's say after Brand New Day and after Secret Wars that the current contract is up.
Okay.
And that you have to make a new contract with Tom Holland to do more Spider-Man movies. Tom Holland is 29 years old. And by the time Secret Wars comes out, he'll be 31, 32. And his contract's up. I don't know how much he's getting paid for Spider-Man 4. I bet you it's a lot of money. And for the Avengers movies as well, from a studio point of view. And Tom Holland himself has spoken several times saying that he wants to take a big break from acting, and he wants to focus on other things. He's got his new non-alcoholic beer company. I think him and Zendaya may even start a family. I don't know that for sure. I'm not trying to put that in the universe, but from interviews with both of them, it seems like it's something they're both interested in, which is great if that's what they want to do. But I think that, he might be ready to move on. So you have someone who's ready to move on, a contract that's expiring, and the only thing that's really going to make them do this is the dollar truck. How much money can you keep spending to keep him when you're trying to launch other stuff like the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, these other things? Because when it goes to Miles, yeah, sure, it's going to be a little bit cheaper in the beginning. Eventually, it's going to get more expensive as that actor gets more prominent in the role. How much longer as a studio head can you keep it going? Or does it make more sense to have this be the end of the Spider-Man deal, where Sony goes back and makes live-action movies with Miles in their own universe, and then the MCU goes on after Secret Wars?
No, I see where you're coming from. Tom Holland's an expensive get, especially if they want to move forward. I think it's, what did they have in that deal, and how much behind the scenes stuff has happened for extensions on that. Like I would be shocked if they wrote in one solo Spider-Man movie. Maybe we get one more, if not.
Well, here's the thing. Technically, No Way Home was part of the new deal.
Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying.
Like, this is just two.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we'll see one more full Tom Holland Spider-Man movie after this, after Brand New Day.
I hope so. But man, he better get the fucking money truck back up to him. Dude, if I was him,
I think they'll want the finality for the marketing, you know?
That's true. That's true.
Like, I think they'll want that boost of the last Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. I think they'll want that hype. They'll want the momentum. They'll have the whole marketing campaign centered around that. I think it'll be that as opposed to just like, oh, Ben, I'm done now.
Yes, but at the same time, thinking about the corporate synergy between Sony and Disney, they use each other to be free commercials for their other things, right?
Yeah.
So Spider-Man being in the Avengers is a free commercial for the Sony Spider-Man movie. The Sony Spider-Man movie then becomes a free commercial for the next Avengers movie that is going to have Spider-Man. And I think the best free commercial of all time for Sony is to introduce Miles in Secret Wars, and then go off and have that be the last commercial for Sony and go over there. Especially if they bring back Craven, Morbius, and Madam Web. I'm just kidding.
But do you think more Miles would be MCU Miles, or would then he just be a Sony Miles?
Just a Sony Miles.
But not the Spider-Verse Miles.
No.
Like a live-action variant, quote-unquote, of it. But you think that would be in the Sony universe?
Yeah. Yeah. And again, for all I know, there's another movie on the contract that Beyond the Spider-Verse doesn't count. For all I know. Just to my understanding, it was the same deal of 2-3 or 3-2. And we're already almost done with the new contract, so.
Yeah. Interesting.
Morgan Bernard asked, would they take a break from making Spider-Man movies after that, or would they recast? I think they would either move on to Miles, or they'll recast eventually. They'll recast everything eventually. It's all going to come, whether we like it or not, as we get older. It happens. They're just a lot more careful about recasting now that stories have interconnectivity. So, yeah.
Yeah, because it kind of puts them in a weird position of, like, I guess they could recast if they did a Sony universe Miles. They could introduce a new Peter Parker within that, and then you just don't hear about Tom Holland in the MCU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, what do you think? Do you think The Brand New Day will be the last standalone Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, or do you think there's going to be more? Let us know as we move on to the box office.
The box office.
Nicholas, we had one of those box office weeks where it looks like we don't know jack shit about this industry.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. Not going to lie. Not our best outing.
In our predictions, we both got the first movie right, being Fantastic Four. You got the second film right, being Bad Guys. I got the third film right, being Naked Gun, but we got nothing else correct, in the proper placement at least. So, with that being said, let's move on to the box office, shall we? And let's pull up what the numbers were last weekend, because there's a lot of interesting stuff to go over. Very interesting stuff. Fantastic Four came in first place in its second weekend, making $38.6 million, but Nick, it took a 67% drop. From week 1 to week 2. Let's be very clear about this. That is a fucking awful drop. It's an awful drop, especially for a movie that only opened a little bit more than 100 million. Had it opened to like over 200, this drop is expected because everyone's already fucking seen it, right? This is a big drop. It's a big drop. Now, do you write off the movie as a failure yet? No. It's already made a ton of money internationally as well, and it's going to keep making money. It's probably going to end up in close to the 600 million range, definitely over the $500 million range. It's going to be a profitable movie. That's fine. But this is a big drop, and it's bigger than they were probably anticipating. So it's important to keep your eye on it. Coming in second was The Bad Guys 2, making $21.9 million in its opening weekend. Coming in third was The Naked Gun, making $16.8 million. Good for Naked Gun. That movie's hysterical, by the way. Coming in fourth is Superman, making $13.7 million in its fourth weekend. And coming in fifth was Jurassic World Rebirth, making $8.7 million in its fifth weekend. Let's dive into the numbers a little bit more here. Fantastic Four First Steps now has $382 million worldwide on a budget of $200. It's at just under 2 times the budget. It needs to get to $400 for that. It'll get to $400 easy by the end of next weekend. It'll probably be almost at $450, maybe, probably $420. So it'll be on its way to profitability for sure. It's just going to depend on how profitable based on how we keep going. Now, another good important thing to keep our eye on is that big weekend drop. not a whole lot of stuff comes out in August that's for the same target audience as Fantastic Four. August is when we get a lot of things like Weapons, Nobody 2, more adult-centered summer movies. So it's possible that Fantastic Four can stick around all August as these other movies come out. But that steep second drop might not be a good sign of that. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes. Moving on here. The Bad Guys 2 now has $61 million worldwide on a budget of 80. So, obviously under the production budget as of right now. It may struggle to get profitability, but again, we'll have to see how it does throughout the month of August. The Naked Gun now has $34 million worldwide. I don't have a budget listed here, but it didn't seem like all that of an expensive movie to make. It wouldn't surprise me if the budget was somewhere in the 40 to 60 range. So hopefully it can make some money. It is a very funny movie, and you can see the review here on the channel. So please do that. Superman now has $561 million worldwide. Good for Superman. It has now made 2.5 times that budget. It's probably just at profitability for the studio. Usually that 2.5 numbers you want to hit. Now, Superman did spend a lot of money on marketing, but probably still profitable at this point. Something that's important to point out with Superman 2. This domestic number is crazy large, especially for a Superman movie and just a movie coming out in 2025. Amazing domestic number. This international number is pretty low. And we've talked about this before with Superman, so it's just an interesting trend to see. And Jurassic World Rebirth now has $777 million worldwide. It's now fallen just under Superman domestically, but again, that international number is just really helped boosting it. And it was made on a budget of $225, 3.5 times the budget. It's well into profitability for Universal now. But it will be the lowest grossing of the Jurassic World films. Something else I wanted to dive into here really quick was kind of looking at Superman versus F1. And the reason I wanted to do that is because they have very similar total numbers in that Superman's at 561, F1's at 553. So Superman's a little bit ahead of F1, but look at the difference here. Domestically, Superman has 322, internationally it's at 239, right?
Mm-hmm.
F1 domestically is at 175, and internationally it's at 377. So
that's wild.
That's crazy, right?
What the
now,
heck?
And Jurassic World has the over 400 million internationally, which is where you would typically see these comic book movies at this time making huge international beats like that. But when you look at Fantastic Four, it's not just a Superman problem. Going to Fantastic Four, it's only at 170 internationally, which, while low, also understand this has only been out for 2 weeks, and the gap between 211 and 170 is not as big as where the gap was for Superman at this point in its second week. So hopefully that can shrink. We'll have to see. But lots of interesting stuff going on in the box office that I wanted to point out. And Nicholas, with that being said,
oh boy,
let's do our predictions for next week.
Well,
I went this weekend, really.
Last week, so you are up this time. Chief, you got what?
Son of a bitch.
Tonight coming out, since it's Thursday, you got Freakier Friday and Weapons. Those are the two new big releases, I believe, right?
Yeah. All right, I'm going to do something absolutely insane, buddy.
Hit me with it. Let's see. Dalton's predictions for the box office. Number 1.
Freakier Friday, number 1.
Whoa, okay. Now we've had Freaky and Freakier. Will we have eventually the freakiest Friday?
Hopefully. Fantastic Four, number 2.
Okay.
Weapons, number 3. Bad Guys 2, number 4. I'd love to see Naked Gun stick it out, but I'm going to go... You know what? No, I'm going to go Naked Gun, number 5.
Ooh. So this is the end of Superman in the top 5.
I think so.
You think so? I am going to go... Let's see. F4 came in at what? 38, you said?
Yeah.
Another big drop.
Are you thinking, or did you freeze? I think he froze. I was sitting here thinking, like, man, he's deep in thought. buddy. You gotta love the live shows when this happens, guys. You really do. Hold on, let's see if we can get him pulled up here. Yeah, come on back. Come on back. Kevin Feige is really trying to snipe us out today. It's a real shame. Come on. Dang, it doesn't look like he's coming back. It looks like his system may have died. Well, guys, if that's the case, I'm going to stall here just in case we get Nicholas back. But, oh, yep, he just texted me that his internet's out right at the end. Oh, wait, is he back? Are you back?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, what a con.
It was right as you were about to give your predictions, too.
Yeah, I know. Well, all of a sudden, the chat's just like the YouTube was saying, like, the chat is disconnected. We're still frozen on my end, but I guess if we're here now, we're fine there. Number one, I'm gonna go Freakier Friday. Number one.
Okay.
I'm gonna go F4. Number two. I'm gonna go Weapons. Number three. I'm gonna go Bad Guys, and then I'm gonna go Superman.
Okay. Interesting.
It's probably the wrong move. I would love to see Naked Gun stick it out in the top 5, but I don't know. I think that's what we're going with.
So, just to kind of go to what you were saying as well, I took a look at the original Freaky Fridays box office.
Yeah.
In 2003, in August, it opened to $22 million. In its second weekend, it dropped 39% to $13 million. In its third week, it dropped 31%. In its fourth week, it dropped 1%. So Freaky Friday had a pretty decent hold there for 4 weeks.
So, and from what I've heard from people that have been seeing it today, very positive stuff coming out of it.
Yes.
Could be a bit of a nostalgia, but...
And the reason why I think it's going to do so well is because the millennial Gen Z generation is what's really been driving the box office post-COVID. And this movie is strictly nostalgia for them. Like it's like directly nostalgia for them. So I think, and for me, include like me and my sister fucking loved this movie. My sister and I would watch this movie all the time. So I think...
Listen, Jamie Lee Curtis is in it. I'm going to watch it.
Yes.
That's just the rules, you know?
Yes. We actually had tickets to see it tonight before we had to cancel and do the stream because I forgot about tomorrow, which is on me. That's my bad. But yeah, it'll be fun. But guys, that'll do it for the box office. Please comment your predictions for the top 5, and if you're right, we'll shout you out on the show. As always, guys, it's been a pleasure. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow us on your podcasting app of choice. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.